Hello, 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 hello. Welcome back to the Agostinho Zinga show with your host, Agostinho Zinga, and this is episode number 869. That is 869 of the Agostinho Zinga show, coming at you live and direct from an undisclosed location somewhere within the depths of London. I'm sorry for the knocking and the banging, but my arms are aching. Just got back from the gym, feeling strong, I guess, ish. I think so. I think I'm feeling strong. I don't know if I am or if this is just my body aching, because for once I am not shoveling stuff up my nose and I'm instead bending my arms towards my body while I'm lifting heavy things in the palms of my hands. So the extracurricular adult multivitamins have been put to one side for now, and the body is now being tested under weights. The mind and the brain is being also challenged with books and stuff, and yeah, it's been fun. I'm not gonna lie. Good start of the year so far. Feeling good, feeling absolutely irie. The only other weird thing about the gym really is that I feel like these past couple of days of February have been maybe the busiest I've seen it, because I was mentioning earlier in the pod that I didn't really notice an uptick in people at the gym due to, like, what's it called, due to New Year's resolutions. I feel like most people kind of have knocked that stuff on their head, but for some reason out of nowhere everybody turned up in February. I feel like it's been the busiest it's ever been now in Feb. It wasn't busy at all in January. It was almost empty, and now I feel like, I wonder if people just had the guilty conscience of, like, you know what, I need to get my life in order. I've still got a couple months left until flipping, what's it called, summer holiday, so maybe they're getting themselves in tune now. But honestly, man, it feels weird. Now it's all of a sudden super busy. January was kind of empty, and now it's really rammed, to the point where I had to wait 5 to 10 minutes to get a machine, no, to get a little squat rack I could be on, which is usually never the case. But we persevere. Apart from that, what's life? Oh, life update. Good old life update for me. Guess what came in the mail the other day? You wouldn't guess what came in the mail the other day. Not multivitamins. Bitch, you guessed it. A brand new passport. A brand spanking new, updated, as you can see there, British passport for your boy, or for your man, or for your daddy, or for your grandpappy, however you want to refer me to. Very very last minute job, because as you guys know, I unfortunately had an unfortunate incident a couple of weeks ago, because I was meant to be in Berlin, enjoying myself and partying and stuff, but like an idiot, I didn't know that this particular passport that I had that's now been clipped, I didn't know my prior one had actually been expired. Now technically it's not expired because it runs out actually on the 24th of February, but I didn't know that you couldn't use your passport up until the date it expires. You have to have like a 3-month buffer, essentially, in order for you to travel. And I learned through the power of the internet, thank you people that were watching via the live on the pod and stuff, told me in the stream chat, that some countries have 5 months, some countries it's 6 months, and I've heard or read online that some countries it's 12 months, a whole year you have to have as a buffer before you can travel anywhere. The only thing I could do with this, actually, I remember in the airport, the last lady did tell me, the only thing I can do with this passport is that I can travel to places within the Great Britain. So I can go to Northern Ireland, I can go to Wales, and I can go to Scotland, but I can't go to anywhere else. I can't go anywhere in Europe. So that was really embarrassing, because that's never happened to me before. That's the first time ever in my life where I've gone to an airport and I've not had the necessary documents to travel. I always have my boarding pass or my passport. I'm always there on time, but I got turned away. And luckily for me, I have to be honest, I got turned away not at the gate, because I think I would, if I got turned away at the gate, I'm not a crier. I don't really have a lot of emotions. I tend to keep things kind of bottled in, right? I'm a real man in that case, in that sense. I keep stuff like bottled, pack it all in, and then it'll explode randomly when I'm in a queue at flipping Tesco Express and the person in front of me is taking too long. Then it randomly explodes and I start like fighting people. But I don't really have much emotions or an emotional range except for laughing. But I think I would have burst into tears if they would have turned me away at the gate. So I'm super lucky I didn't get turned away there. I got turned away where I went to go check in at a check-in desk, basically, because I'm an idiot, and when I go to Europe, my little techno weekenders, I take check-in luggage because I take like 4 pairs of shoes, 7 jackets. You know, I'm one of those type of guys. So I went to go check in my luggage, and the lady said, not today, boss. So I'm lucky. Even though it was embarrassing to go all that way from where I live to Stansted Airport, you know, thinking I'm on my way to holiday, I'm in a holiday mood. I can't wait to get my little Pret a Manger sandwich. I can't wait to get my little coffee, buy my little £6 bottle of water, right? I'm in a good mood. Yes, but I'm happy, so happy I didn't get turned about the gate, because I read online, and this is really weird. I read online that some people take passports that are about to expire and they risk it. They roll the dice. They roll the dice and just go anyway because they don't want to. Because to renew your passport's like £80, I think, the basic one, the basic amount of pages, and also the basic kind of like time to kind of have it delivered. But some people, if they don't want to spend the money on renewing it, they will risk it. And they will book a holiday and go to the airport knowing full well that their passport may have expired or they may not be able to travel with it. Could you imagine how the balls you must have on you? The fucking set of cojones, like they must be like fucking like soccer balls to have that kind of courage to go to the airport knowing full well you don't have necessary documents. You are a G. I can't do that. I really, really can't do that. I'm a big pussy. So I didn't know. And I got, you know, I got turned away. Thankfully, I didn't get turned away at the gate. I got turned away at the check-in desk. So I came back home and had to get it done and renewed. And I'm happy I did because everything's now brand spanking. Now the color of the passport isn't burgundy. I quite like the burgundy passport. It's now this navy blue. It almost looks black in some places. I'm probably going to get a nice little cover for it. I've got to think. I'm sure there's a good designer cover. Maybe I'll get a Luebe one or a JW Anderson. Or I might try and get like a Rick Owens passport cover or something in some nice leather to kind of cover it up and shit. But yeah, standard passport now. The only good thing about this not being in, or the only other difference as well is like now it just says British passport. It doesn't say European Union. Usually on the bottom it'll say like European Union, but it doesn't say that anymore. But yeah, the only good thing about not being in the European Union is that you get loads of stamps. That's something I'm happy about. In the old in this old passport too, I've got so many freaking stamps from places that I've been in shit. So I'm happy that they do stamp your passport, because if you're in Europe, you don't really get stamped. They just, I don't think they stamp your passport here. So you get these nice little stamps here when you travel now, if you're, because we're not part of the European Union anymore, which is quite cool. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And anyway, the reason why I mentioned all this is because the reason why I had to get my passport renewed ASAP. Obviously, I want to travel soon, but I'm also traveling very, very soon. Actually, this weekend, Jesus Christ, on Saturday, I'm going to fucking Amsterdam on Saturday. Actually, I forgot to mention that. I'm gonna go see Dixon play with my good friend Bobby. So we're gonna go. It's a bit of a mad one. We're gonna go to Amsterdam this weekend on Saturday, and we're doing a bit of a risky one. We're gonna roll the dice on this one. So the plan is, or we already booked it, is we're gonna fly out on the Saturday afternoon, land, hang around, walk around, get something to eat, chill, and then party, and then get the first plane back home on the Sunday. We've always wanted to do it. I know it sounds absolutely insane, but we've always wanted to do it, and this is a good chance to do it because it's Amsterdam, which is not that far. I think the plane journey is like an hour, if that. The airport is like right bang in the city center, so you don't have to travel too much. So I think we land there about 5 p.m, 6 p.m, and the party starts at 10. At the place called, what's it called, Lo-Fi, with Dixon over there in Amsterdam. So we're really, really excited to go. Dixon playing all night long. You know, Dixon, head of fucking Innovision. We follow them all around the fucking country, sometimes all around Europe, I think, as well, which is quite embarrassing, but we fucking love Dixon. So we're going to see Dixon play all night long in fucking Amsterdam. I can't freaking wait, but it's going to be a brutal journey because I've never done this. I've never taken a plane in the morning. Oh, and we're doing it with no accommodation. So we're going to take that plane in the afternoon. We're going to land there in the evening or close to the evening, and then we're going to go straight out, hang around, get something to eat, whatever, party. And then when we finish, we're going to get the first plane back, which I think is at 11 o'clock or something. I don't know, which is going to be, it's going to be pretty brutal. It's going to be a pretty brutal trip. So I'm going to make sure that I sleep before, and I'm going to make sure I sleep after, you know? I'll make sure I'm going to sleep before and after, but I'm really looking forward to it because my first time ever going to Amsterdam. I've never been before ever in my life, so it's the first time ever that I'm going. And I've heard people say, even though this is not the best example of it, because Dixon people will maybe describe as being a little bit like, what's that word called? Dixon will be described as being a little bit business techno. He's a little bit more, you know, normie, popularish in that regard. I don't really think so, but I love him in that respect. But I've heard people say that the nightlife in Amsterdam is actually better than Berlin. That's what I've heard actual people say that go out a lot. people that I kind of respect, and you know, they go out a bunch and shit, and they have friends that go out and shit and blah 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 blah. You know, like nightlife influencers and shit have said that the nightlife scene in Amsterdam actually equals, if not surpasses, Berlin. People have always said that, so I'm really curious to see what the vibe is, what the clubs are like. Obviously, when ADE happened last year, the videos and clips I was seeing of people out there was pretty fun. So I think we're gonna have a good time, and obviously it'll give me a good idea, or us a good idea of how the city is, how it kind of flows, and then for next time if we're gonna go back again, maybe book more accommodation, book more time, blah 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 blah. But I'm really looking forward to it. So that's Lo-Fi with Dixon, which is happening this Saturday. It's actually sold out, which is crazy, considering the prices were €35. It's not a cheap fucking night. He's playing from 10 till 5 a.m. all night long, which is going to be fucking sick. I still remember fondly one of the best ever fucking Dixon sets I ever experienced was going to the Innovision showcase in Fold. I think it was just before the pandemic, actually, in 2019 or something. The Innovision fucking, honestly, that memory still lives in my head, bro. I still fondly remember that fucking experience. It was so fucking fun. So whenever you get a chance to see a DJ like Dixon who's super popular, super big, in a somewhat smaller venue, it's a great opportunity. Because actually, I was curious to see what does this venue actually look like. I'm curious to see it. Let me see. Let me quickly check Google. I'm actually curious because I thought it was at the Loft. It's not the Loft. I thought it was the Loft. Okay, cool. I guess it must have changed the venue, because it was meant to be at this place called the Loft in Amsterdam, but I think they've changed the venue lastminute.com. I'm pretty sure. Okay. Well, it's at a place called Lo-Fi. It's not the Loft. And let's see what this venue actually looks like. I'm curious to see what it actually looks like. Is there clips and stuff? Yeah, people have got clips already here. This is who? A Night Change of Pure Energy. I don't know who this is. Super Strings 2000. Thankfully, the music that I'll be listening to won't be as bad as that. It won't be as bad as that. Jesus Christ. Let me see. Is there any more videos of what it looks like on the inside, please? To be fair, that type of music, whatever that genre is, sounds like something that a lot of people in Amsterdam will be into. That sounds like a very European type of genre. I don't know how else to call it, but I just think of loads of white people in black boots. Okay. Decent enough vibe. It kind of reminds me of E1. I like how they didn't have the DJ booth completely covered. I gotta be honest, it's a little pet peeve of mine when the booth is all covered and you can't see the decks or anything. I quite like seeing the DJ's hands. I quite like seeing them fiddling with the knobs, the light of, you know, the illumination of the fucking LCD screen on the fucking CDJs and shit. So I quite like how open it is. It looks like a good vibe. High ceilings and shit, like most Amsterdam venues I've seen. They've always got incredibly high ceilings and shit, which I think is probably something that they do intentionally to give this place a lot of space and shit. But yeah, it looks like a massive space, to be fair. It doesn't look small at all. It looks fucking huge. It looks like a fucking massive space. Yeah, but it was meant to be at the Loft. I'm pretty sure we was meant to be going to the Loft, but now it's at this place called Lo-Fi, which is completely different to the Loft. Let's see. Can I see some actual pictures of what it looks like on the inside without the videos? Or these are all videos? These are all videos, right? Yeah. Wow, it looks fucking crazy. Look at that. That looks insane. So I don't know how to describe this to you, but if you're not watching, essentially the room is like really high ceilings, but they've got this really interesting LED display where they have this like LED strips, bars, really thin bars that kind of intersect across each other in a square, and then they all kind of light up, and I guess they could do different type of you know, lightings and shit, designs when they light it up. But it's a pretty interesting design, so you get this really cool, you know, feature inside of the space.
That's a really cool venue. I'm not gonna lie. So I'm assuming this is a place where they won't cover your phone, right? I'm assuming people probably take their own pictures because this very much looks like a place that it's set up for social media. I could be wrong though, but yeah, I can't wait to check it out. I'm not gonna lie. I can't wait to check this place out. Is there any pictures that people have taken that I can just see for myself? Let's see this. These location geotags on social are usually a good way to kind of get a vibe of what the place looks like. So here's some stuff here from some people. We got a post here from DJ Nobu. He played at Lo-Fi, right? What did he say? What did DJ Lo-Fi say about Lo-Fi? Playing at Coda last week was a valuable time for me to reflect on my DJ career. Every time I get older, my body and mentality change. The way that I tour, my everyday life is also consistently changing. I'm approaching such a period now. Estonia and Cologne were my first time that I'd been there, which made it more interesting. So after returning to Amsterdam, after playing for Cuda, negative thoughts came to my mind. Of course, the shows in Estonia and Cologne were fun, so don't get me wrong. Just about the inside of me, I have no special skills other than DJing, and I have a complex that has been subconsciously instilled in me. While we all excel in something, there's always something missing. I know it's true for everyone. I put everything into the night, thinking about the future of my DJ life. My style is to scan each person. Oh, mate. There's nothing worse than DJs complaining. DJs complaining that they have it so hard because they have to press Q and play and get flown around to all these amazing countries and amazing places and meet all the adoring fans and get paid thousands of dollars to play a couple of hours of music that they probably didn't make themselves. Like, do me a favor, mate. Honestly, cry me a fucking river. I don't give a fuck. If you don't want to do it, it's making you sad, quit and get a normal job. What's that? Still can't believe what happened at Lo-Fi. So this is another person. Who's this? Colin Music. Or Colin, how do you say his name? Jesus Christ, this type of I love people that enjoy stuff. Like I'm all for people enjoying what they want to enjoy, but this sort of like FIFA music, this sort of like, I don't know, hands up in the air music is like never. It's always puzzled me how people enjoy this, like on a, like, you know, over a consistent basis, like across the whole night. Maybe I can understand listening to this when you're on holiday once, but actually enjoying listening to this in your headphones day to day is insane to me. I feel like all these songs sound the same. These EDM songs, it all has that. They all got the big, like, oh, it's got the big drop and then boom. They all sound the same. You just got to figure out what your fucking 2 8-bar loop sounds like before the drop. But each song sounds exactly the fucking same. Maybe it's just me, I don't really know. But yeah, the space looks cool. I am looking forward to it. I know it sounds like I'm being very negative about this, but I am looking forward to it. There's also an outdoor space at Lo-Fi, it seems like. What else is happening? Oh, look at that. I wonder if we'll see this outdoor space. Look at the outdoor space. This is really cool. It kind of it's very industrial looking. There's all these fucking cargo you know, boxes all around the places and shit, containers. This is quite a cool little space. It kind of reminds me of like a very rustic looking box park. I'm looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to this. Has there been a bigger genre to explode over the last 12 months than Brazilian funk? Maybe the closest thing to explode like that was probably Amapiano. But I feel like Brazilian funk is everywhere now. Like every DJ, no matter what genre they play, they're going to play some sort of remix, some sort of edit that contains some elements of Brazilian funk. It's absolutely crazy how popular that fucking genre has become in the last 12 months, man. It's fucking everywhere. sounds good. Okay, fair enough. This sounds pretty good. I like the space, man. There's a cool outdoor space, a cool indoor space as well. I wonder which one he's going to play at. I'm assuming Dixon's going to play the big indoor space that we saw earlier, or that I showed you guys earlier. I'm assuming that's where we'll probably see him. I don't think he's going to be playing in this space outside like that. I think this is usually something they probably have for the summer, I'm assuming. But I am also looking forward to it. I actually want to check. Let me see if I can find to Dixon. Maybe I want to see a recent actual set from the big man. So let's go onto the to Dixon, the Dixon fan page, and see Wagwan. When's the last time Dixon played? There we go. We've got a clip of Dixon playing. When was this? This is a recent one. Dixon takes over in Warsaw. That's more like it. That's more like it. What's another video from Dixon? Here's another one from Dixon in Istanbul. I'm looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to this now. I'm getting fucking hyped. Woohoo! Yeah, it's gonna be a fucking vibe. Roly, 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 poly. Next slide. Oh, I know this song. I know this tune. I think I've got this in my library. I'm pretty sure I got this in my library. See, another Brazilian funk song. Another Brazilian funk edit. Shut up. It's gonna be a vibe. Yeah, I can't wait to see the big man. I can't wait to see him. I can't wait to see him. Oh Jesus. Go on. Jeez. Nah, come on, man. He's too good. He's too good, man. He's too good. Yeah, niggas too close, isn't it, man? Back up, man. Back up, back up. Let the man move. Let the man move. Oh, he's back on full form, mate. He's on full fucking form. The big man. Big D-I-X-O-N. Big D-I-X-O-N. Slide. Ooh. Look at that. Oh. Yo, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know Istanbul was this popping when it comes to the club scene. My bad Istanbul. My bad Istanbul. Look at that. Okay, Slide. Last slide. Vibes. Yeah, big up my guy Dixon. Really looking forward to seeing him. Cannot fucking wait. Dixon at Lo-Fi. What's the blurb saying here? Visionary force in electro, house, and techno. Dixon has redefined boundaries in extreme electronic music. As a co-founder of the renowned Innovision label, he's celebrated for his masterful DJ sets that seemingly blend past, future, and sounds. Beyond the music, Dixon's ventures, such as the clubwear brand, Together We Dance Alone, his groundbreaking Trans Madonna project explored the intersection of music, art, and technology. We're thrilled to welcome Dixon to Lo-Fi for an all-night set that promises to be nothing short of the masterclass. Sold out. So I'm glad I got my ticket. Can't fucking wait. Gonna see the blood clot guy performing this weekend. I can't fucking wait. Continuing on. So let's talk about Zin. Do you guys do Zin? Do I do Zin? No. To be fair, I was pretty lucky growing up in that because I grew up in a pretty conservative Christian household, going to church nearly every fucking day from the time I was a kid to the time I was maybe like 18, 19. I kind of avoided a bunch of things just by default going to church and being a Christian and shit. So I avoided drinking, I avoided drugs, I avoided smoking. So when it got to the time of me moving out and shit, it was already too late to actually get into it, and I was already playing a lot of sports, skateboarding, running, doing a bunch of stuff, so the need to smoke wasn't really there. And I'm usually the kind of person that loves to stand around in the smoking area of clubs, but I have no interest in actual smoking. The only time that I did was when I was pretending to smoke, and I'd buy like menthol cigarettes, act like cool, but I don't mind being around people smoking, just standing around, but I've never really had the urge to be a smoker. But I've always known people who have smoked, and one thing that I do remember a lot of people saying around me growing up was how addictive it was and how hard it was to stop. I remember a lot of people saying that it was super addictive and hard to stop. People enjoyed it as a digestive. People enjoyed it as something to kind of, wake up in the morning to. People enjoyed it as a kind of way to break up your working day, especially if you have like a 30-minute, because some people, work like 9 to 5 or 9 to half 5, and you sometimes only have like a half an hour break. So if you smoke, it gives you a nice opportunity to pop out of the office and have a little break, and then kind of recharge yourself before you get back on your work again. So socially, whatever else it's been a thing. Obviously in recent years, I think in the UK, it's kind of, I feel like smoking's kind of waned, because essentially you can't smoke anywhere. You have to always smoke outside here in the UK, which is very different to other places. Like, you go to Berlin and people are literally smoking in a cafe, smoking in pubs and shit, and your whole clothes come back smelling like a fucking ashtray. But in recent years, I've also seen the popularity of these nicotine pouches. I first sort of heard about them through, I'm guessing, comedy podcasts, because everybody I think I heard it through comedy podcasts on Nelk Boys, one or the other. Essentially, most so as like a performance hack, as some sort of like optimization hack, sort of thing, where it helps with your fucking, mental capacity and whatever else it may be. But I've heard allegedly the findings for that are very sketchy, about whether or not it helps with your mind. But I heard people kind of replacing cigarettes with nicotine, and obviously I forgot what the element is on the cigarettes, but there's one of it that's obviously not good for you. So if you can just separate it and just do the nicotine straight in, maybe it's a little bit better than actually smoking cigarettes. But as we are humans, people tend to kind of do things in excess. So now I've heard of people getting addicted to not only cigarettes, but now also getting addicted to nicotine pouches. So it's become a big thing, and it's also become a big thing amongst a young community, young demographic, and whatever it may be, right? I guess like Gen Z, millennials, and whatnot it may be. So GQ put this really interesting article together, sort of like explaining and trying to dive in deep into the phenomenon of nicotine pouches, specifically Zyn, which is a brand that's really popular in America. In Europe, we have a different brand. I think it's Scandinavian. I'm just sure it's Zyn Scandinavian too, but there's another brand that's popular here. But essentially, they all do the same thing. So let's check this article out, courtesy of GQ. It says how Zyn conquered the American mouth. Pause or not? who knows? So it starts off. Dinner, club, Zin, another club. That's like that's a a play on the famous Lady Gaga quote. That was a text I got for this week from my friend Ruby, who's 25 years old and lives in Manhattan's West Village and loves Zin nicotine pouches. She happens to be the same friend who at parties in Williamsburg announced that she is opening a new can of Zin to encourage what she calls camaraderie. To be fair, I do remember when I went to New York. This was many years ago. But when I went to New York and I went to Williamsburg, one of the things that popped out to me when I went to Williamsburg was how similar Williamsburg was to Shoreditch and to like Stoke Newington and all those type of hipster places, like cobbled streets, people riding fucking fixie bikes, people with little hats on with like obscenely big scarves and trotting about with their fucking laptops in their arms. That's the one thing I kind of regret when I went to New York. I didn't really discover more of the other boroughs or the other places that are a little bit more, different than London. Because I think because I was in Manhattan, I did go to Lower East Side for a bit. I went to Manhattan, I went to Williamsburg. I didn't really go to anywhere else. So, and I think those places are too similar to London. When I go abroad, I want to see something that doesn't look like where I'm from. I want to have a bit of a, dare I say, culture shock. But Williamsburg was so similar, looked exactly the same as like Shoreditch, Dawson, all these sort of places. So it's no surprise to see young people there banging a nicotine. It continues. If I hosted a dinner party for the Zin fanatics in my life, you'd have West Village Ruby, a focaccia baker named Mo, a finance guy named Aiden, a lacrosse coach named Lars, and a brand designer named Malou. The social equivalent of hitting shuffle. Over the past year, I learned users no longer look only like the frat guys in memes on my newsfeed. They look like anyone with a pulse. Okay, so if you want a multicultural friend base, get yourself some Zin. As the reign of Swedish, okay, Zin is Swedish. I think the other ones we have too are Swedish too. As the reign of Swedish nicotine pouches expands in America, unit sales increased by 641% between 2019 and 2022. And reported sales of Zin's brand alone were projected to increase 51% between 2023 and 2024. I'm not alone in waking up to the idea that Zin just might be for everybody, and that's it. It's not just for cowboys and fishermen. It's not just for people who voted red or for people who voted blue. It's not just for white collar. It's not just for working class. People use it while playing sports. Baker Mayfield, the Bucks quarterback, stirred some controversy while appearing to pack a lip on the sidelines of an NFL game, while gambling casinos, while cranking out decks in the office, while painting houses, while, yes, writing magazine stories. In equal measure, it's used on the dance floor. The buzz keeps you up. Really? Bro, man, just do some crack, coke, or speed. Why are you gonna take a Zin to get you kind of going in the fucking dance floor? That's like saying if you drink a fucking, whatchamacallit? That's like if you drank like a JD and Coke, that's gonna help you as well. Come on, man. Come on, people, man. Just do hard drugs or don't do any. Trying to circumnavigate shit by taking nicotine pouches to get you going is fucking loser behavior, man. Honestly, humans can be so odd at times. Anyway, in equal measures, it's used on the dance floor. It keeps the buzz up, and on the trading floor, it keeps you locked in and focused. At night time, morning time, and for some super users, all the time, which sounds, yes, a lot like cigarettes. You know what, right? I'm not gonna lie. I know this article is written by GQ. But this kind of feels like propaganda. This feels like they're trying to this feels like they are at the behest of Zin trying to promote this shit. Like, why does this exist? Why are you making an article just on one brand and not all the brands? It's a bit odd, this. This feels like some sort of psyop. Except that in the absence of cigarette smoke, or the cartoon cloud produced by vaping, you might never know that Zin users are all around you. The house of Zin is big and diverse, but it's discreet. Its members do not need to duck out for the nicotine fix. They just tuck the pouch They tuck a pouch the size of a Sour Patch Kid under their canines and get on with it, while privately enjoying a cycle of elevation followed by calm, followed by the urge to Zin again. And so the generation that grew up knowing for sure that smoking was deadly discovered why people loved it anyway. I actually want to check it out. How long does a Zin last? How long does a Zin high last? What are people going to this for? How long is it? A high from Zin, 30 minutes. That's pretty long, I thought it'd be like 5 minutes or 3 minutes. You get the high for 30 minutes. No wonder it's so addictive then. No wonder it's fucking so addictive. That's wild. Blah blah blah. To be fair, I think you can tell. I think if I saw these two people on the screen here, this guy and this girl, especially the girl, I think I could instantly tell that she does Zin. You know, if you're up all the time, if you're taking it to fucking keep you alert and up, then you're probably gonna have a certain look about you. You're probably gonna have a certain hue, right? A certain patina, right? A certain tint to your face. Let's just say that. It continues. For decades now, big tobacco has sought new revenue streams as cigarette smoking rates have continued to drop off. And amidst the ongoing flirtation with vape clouds, it may have caused, or it may have found its champion in nicotine pouches like Zin. Those of us who took US history as a public school in New York know that humans have used tobacco since the beginning of time. In the indigenous American discovered that you could smoke the stuff. They would also chew cured leaves to produce a feeling of euphoria and relaxation. Perhaps one of the first smokeless nicotine hits. Over the years, smokeless products filled a solid niche in the tobacco business. Brands like Levi Garrett, Stoker's made a sticky, loose-leaf chewing tobacco that the stuff cowboys would spit into spittons. Guys on a high school lacrosse team would spit into Snapple bottles. Ooh, yeah, I remember those. I actually remember that. I actually remember people having like bottles of that shit in their rooms. Like, oh, you know what I mean? I could, makes you want to gag. Wide mouth, the spit looked like an iced tea, and leave them pre-game in kitchens. I'm sure Long Island moms who came home. While tobacco's history was quintessentially American, the future of nicotine delivery was forged in, of all places, Sweden. Starting in the 1970s, a state-owned Swedish tobacco company began working with an American firm to develop a new product that could combat the messiness of dip and chew small, individually portioned pouches and snus-powered tobacco. Around the same time, Swedish pharmaceutical scientists were busy developing the first commercial nicotine replacement therapy product, a nicotine-containing chewing gum to wean off smokers of cigarettes with a better-for-you fix. It was called Nicovunum, or Niconovum, a Swedish pharma firm that weeded these strands when they released the first tobacco-free nicotine pouch under the brand Zonic in 2008. Zin, which delivers nicotine to the bloodstream via mucous membranes in the mouth, came 6 years later. Snus had been the Swedes' tobacco of choice, and by 2024, the proportion of Swedes who smoked daily and used nicotine pouches were nearly equal. By the time Philip Morris International of Marlboro and Virgin Slims fame acquired Zin maker Swedish Match for 16 billion. Yo, there's money in tobacco, innit? That's why they call it big tobacco. Like Big Pharma, they call it big tobacco. 16 billion. It's probably worth double that now, innit? Philip Morris International purchased Zin for 16 billion in 2022. The Americans have had what appears to be soured on the last zeitgeisty tobacco alternative category, the vape, of the concerns about marketing to underage users, unanswered questions about long-term effects and the occasional exposure. So I'm wondering, like, did Zin, basically, from what I'm understanding, it sounds like Zin kind of got its start being a tobacco alternative to stop people from smoking or to wean them off from smoking cigarettes. But now, as us humans are always fucking doing things to excess, people are now getting addicted to Zins. So the thing that you got addicted, the thing that is invented to make you stop one addiction has now become its own addiction. Love it, love it, love it, love it. And there's some pictures here, courtesy of GQ, of people's mouths. Most of them, if you see, looking at this picture, are Caucasian. I think this guy here might be Asian, but for the most part, they're all Caucasian white people, which is interesting because I don't think I know any black people that have nicotine pouches or that do snus or Zin. The only black people that I've seen that do snus are footballers. Professional footballers seem to love them, but I've not seen anybody socially in my life who looks like me who does snus or Zins. Look at this guy. This guy in the middle here has like 2 on either side. What a fucking boss. This guy here has like 2 or 3 on either side of his mouth. That's intense. That's fucking intense. And most of these guys haven't scraped their tongues either, but yeah. Okay, cool. Cool. Zin's success in the US wasn't a lightning in a bottle, sorry. It probably wasn't even one of those top-selling nicotine products at your bodega until a few years ago. But a perfect storm of promotion by self-appointed Zinfluencers, Philip Morris does not do influencer marketing. Yeah, right. If they don't do influencer marketing, what the fuck is Nelk Boys then? I don't believe that. I don't believe that. They don't do influencer marketing. Nelk Boys have been pushing Zin for fucking ages and shit. Loads of comedians have been pushing it. Podcasters, come on. Zin's byproduct of storm promotion by self-appointed influencers. Gen Z's awareness of vaping health hazards during COVID and the increase in distribution led to Zin breaking through a ceiling of mass culture. By the third quarter of 2024, Zin accounted for 65.5% of US nicotine pouch sales by volume. Wow. They've dominated the market, innit? 65.5% of nicotine pouch sales are done with Zins only. The rapid growth in consumption resulted in a shortage of the product in the US last summer, and barren bodega shelves, freakouts in the streets. The reaction naturally led to more interest. What kind of buzz could cause this sort of meltdown? Folks seem to think Zin is an overnight success story, but Zin has been on the market for 10 years in the US, as Travis Palmer, the US Chief Communication Officer for Philip Morris International. Yo, I wonder what sort of salary this person's on, eh? US Chief Communication Officer for Philip Morris. That's probably a decent yearly salary. You know, you're pushing some poison out there, but you're making some money in the process. The American dream. He said the company's goal is to be predominantly smoke-free by 2023, with more than 2/3 of revenues generated by smoke-free products. He said that America's nearly 30 million smokers out of, according to PMI's estimate, 45 million regular nicotine users deserve better alternative. Okay, let's see. What is the Philip Morris International roster? What are the brands that they have? What are the brands they own? They want to be smokeless by 2023. What are the brands? Is it products? Yeah. What are the products they own here? Maybe someone's got an image. Do we have it? Whoa. I want to see what kind of products and brands do they own in total. Is that how much it is? Yo, that's too many to name. God damn, son. All of these stuff. What the fuck? No, that can't be it. It has to be some one of these. Maybe it's one of these actually. Is it this one here? Oh, let's just go on Wikipedia actually. Let's go on Wikipedia. Maybe it'll show us on the wiki. I want to see what type of brands that they own to be smokeless by 2023. It sounds like a very okay, here they are. Medical products. At 2024, Philip Morris International owns 9 companies which develop medical products in connection with diseases. Medical products. Cigarettes are medical products. What? As of 2024, Philip Morris International owns 9 companies which develop medical products in connection with diseases caused by tobacco. Soft hail inhalers. Don't lie. Philip Morris owns Marlboro, but also owns inhalers, like asthma inhalers. They sell you the cause and the cure. Nah, that's fucking wild. Oh my god. They also own a thing called BioVotion, developer of a wearable sensing technology for medical quality vital sign monitoring in daily life. They own a 13 pharmaceuticals and neuroceuticals, Swedish Match, which is snus and nicotine, Topic, which is drug development focused on acute mitochondrial infractions, Biogenesis, which is a services and products for highly multiplex protein quantification, and also these brands: Basic, Benson and Hedges, Bond Street, Chesterfield, Digi Samso, L&M, Lark, Long Beach, Marlboro Ice Blast, Merit, and ST Saint du Barry. How are they going to make their brand smokeless by that? These are some big brands here, man. I've heard of L&M, I've heard of Marlboro, I've heard of people smoking Chesterfields, Benson and Hedges. These are really popular here in the UK. Fucking hell. Okay, good luck to them. And it continues. That may be so. But it was also recently that Emma Chamberlain posted a video of a Zin lodged in her gums. Joe Rogan said in discussing Zin that he'd read somewhere that nicotine wards off Alzheimer's. Fact check. Some less than conclusive research on topics exist. Senator Chuck Schumer called for a Zin crackdown. Oh, boo, Chuck Schumer. Tucker Carlson gushed to podcaster Theo Vaughn that taking Zin gets wild in a subtle way. It's not like doing cocaine. Honestly, man, just do coke, man. Just do fucking coke. The journalist Max Reed coined a new phrase that captures the fraternity-adjacent online culture called the Zinternet. Plus, it must be said, the buzz itself is exhilarating. My first time using Zyn was on a park bench in Lower East Side during the summer of 2023. I was with my friend Aiden, a Gen Z suit who always had an outline of a Zyn can visible in his pocket. At the time, he was going through about 15 pouch cans a week. How many pouches are in a pouch can? How many pouches? Whoops. Pouches in a Zyn can. How many typically? How many pouches? A Zyn can contains 21. Fucking hell, 21. There's 21. God damn it. So 21 times 15. He was going through 315 pouches per week. 315 per week. God almighty. Within less than a minute of shoving it in my lip, I was overwhelmed with the euphoric challenge and the feeling that, with the euphoric charge. Within less than a minute of shoving it in my lip, I was overwhelmed with a euphoric charge, a feeling that with increased usage has a very familiar arc. You know when the buzz is going to hit. Until then, my experience with nicotine was limited to shared cigarettes in lines outside of bars and Capri Super Slims in Paris as a when in Rome kind of thing. The rush from Zyn was alarming, tingling, warm, and then numbing. I bought a can the next day. Shit, is that good, huh? Okay. I started using Zyn because you can do it on a plane without getting put on a no-fly list, and it seems less likely to kill me in the long run than other methods of nicotine delivery. Well, just not doing it, also abstaining can help not kill you, you know? If you don't want to die, abstaining can also help. Just abstain. That can also be an option, no? Okay, cool. Some people, man, we all know that the health risk of cigarettes, cancer, chronic lung disease, and vaping, looking like an idiot, harm from e-fluid. Looking like an idiot is hilarious. But because Zyn is smokeless and tobacco free and perceived health risks are fewer, nicotine pouches, including Zyn, do seem to be a lot healthier than cigarette smoking because they have a much less burden of toxins. Brittany Keller Hamilton, an epidemiologist, how do you say that? Epidemiologist? Yeah, I think that's how you say it. A professor of Ohio State University College in Medicine told me, while the long-term health impacts of pouches are still uncertain and the side effects like gum irritation and negative gastrointestinal and cardiovascular symptoms, you have to be a real psycho. You have to be going through like 300 per day to start getting gum irritation from doing a nicotine pouch, because surely they design it in a way so that it kind of doesn't irritate or cause you any kind of pain when you put it in your gums. So if you start to irritate your own gums, you are definitely overusing it. For Aiden, a less harmful source changed the cost-benefit analysis of nicotine. I smoked and vaped intermittently in college and more regularly when I started working full-time after school, both to manage stress and zero my focus on something when ARCs needed. Managing stress hasn't worked, zeroing my focus has. I swear, I'm lucky I don't go to like drugs and shit. Maybe it's an American thing, but when I want to focus, I just like put my phone down. I don't know. I close the blinds. I focus on the thing I need to focus on in small chunks, maybe half an hour, 20 minutes, 1 hour blocks, and go from there. But I don't run to drugs, to booze or whatever to kind of like focus me in. I'm glad that's not the first thing I go to. Maybe people are different. Maybe some people just can't focus so they need help. Or maybe it's like an undiagnosed ADHD thing. I don't know. But it's an odd thing to do, isn't it? If you want to focus, like, the first thing you run to is like nicotine pouches. Filmmaker Jack Mackin, whatever his name is, spent last summer working on a documentary about a minor league baseball team. Every player on the team was popping him constantly. One guy would take 4 6-milligram pouches at a time, and the other guy used Zyn so much and collected so many cans that he traded them in for a light up Zyn sign. Jesus Christ, how many cans you have to go through to get a fucking LED sign of Zyn? Jesus, I don't even want to know. On the back of a can of Zyn, there are QR codes that users can scan and redeem points. Oh, this is probably more lame than smoking a vape. If you are fucking redeeming the points off the back of your fucking Zyn, scanning the QR code with your phone, you are probably lamer than the person that has one of those fucking, industrial sized vapes that fucking sound like a steam engine when he loads it up, like Yeah, I mean, you are more lame than that vape guy, I swear. I spoke to another Zin fanatic. He's one of the mouths featured in Adjacent to the Text, who told me that he started Zin to be a good friend. One of his boys really wanted that sign for his apartment, so their whole friend group helped him out by racking up points. He held a sign lightning party at his apartment when he finally got it, he told me, and found the story unironically touching. You find this story. I don't find it touching. I find it kind of lame. Why didn't you just buy the sign? Your whole group of friends, you couldn't just like all chip in a couple of pounds, £10 or something to get him an LED sign. You had to fucking go through hundreds and hundreds of cans to get him a sign. I guess it's the thought that counts, isn't it? More pictures of people with nicotine pouches in their mouth. I guess in terms of like not looking like a dork, pouches probably help. I just don't like sometimes you get that like inflamed kind of lump on your face. But I guess if you had to kind of tally up what looks more dorky, vaping obviously looks dorky. Smoking cigarettes looks cool. But then at least no one knows you're doing Zin. So sometimes maybe some people don't like to look like they're on drugs. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe there's a thing of like people not wanting to look like they're on drugs. So Zin's a good thing because no one can tell you're on it because you got it in your mouth or you got it, stuck up your fucking gums. The evening after November 2024 election, I got on the phone to Tucker Carlson. He said, "I'm super hostile towards GQ. I used to write for GQ," he told me. He was calling me from his car and had a few minutes to talk before Vivek Ramaswamy came to his home in Maine for dinner. I wasn't calling him about Vivek's plans to slash federal budgets or to learn about Carson's independent media network. I wanted to talk to him about the newest venture, nicotine pouches. Stay with me here. Tucker Carlson has his own nicotine pouches. Carlson told me that he started using nicotine in June 1983. I asked how he remembered the month, because that's when I got sent to boarding school, he said. Well, of course, Tucker Carlson went to boarding school. He seems like the type, innit? If ever there was a person who looks like they went to boarding school, it's Tucker fucking Carlson. When I worked in television, I used to vape during the commercial breaks, but there was something about it that was dismissing. I just feel like if you're going to smoke, have a cigarette. I agree with that, to be honest. If you're going to smoke, just fucking smoke. It's like if you're going to do drugs. If you're going to do drugs, forget fucking research chemicals, get some fucking dark and light and go fucking crazy. His first Zin would come decades later after a guy, one of his daughters was dating, suggested trying one. They drove to a 7-Eleven. So some guy that was blowing your daughter's back out told you to try Zin to calm down. Calm down, Uncle Tucker. Don't worry, I'm taking care of your daughter. I promise I'm wearing protection. Have a Zin, chill out. They drove to a 7-Eleven to buy a bunch of flavors, and something besides the nicotine-induced reward pathway in his brain lit up. Carlson believes that nicotine is a writer's drug. Every writer I know used to smoke. I don't know many writers who don't use nicotine. I might be one. I would deem myself to be a writer because, I always think in terms of like, saying you are a thing, you probably have to get paid. And I got paid, a few times to write articles and whatnot, wherever they may be. And I've never used any type of drugs to write. I just sit there and write, innit? Maybe I'm special. Maybe I'm just awesome. I don't know. But yeah, I find it harder. I find it weird how people just can't do things without having a drink or having drugs. It's interesting, isn't it? Like, you can't do anything. Oh, I need to like cut the lawn. Let me have a smoke. I need to do this. I need to. It's like, interesting. The apotheosis of Carlson's love affair was probably Christmas 2023, when the Nelk Boys, a Trump-approved prank. Oh, come on, a Trump-approved. Come on, GQ. Who gives a fuck if they're Trump-approved? Anyway, when the Nelk Boys, the Trump-approved prank YouTubers, airlifted a Zin canister the size of a monster truck to Carlson, and it looked like he might cry from laughter and gratitude. Carlson called on Zin as he started to regard the product as insufficiently right-wing. Plus, after having styled himself as a sort of unofficial ambassador of Zin, Carlson had a falling out with Philip Morris International. The company rebuffed the pitch from a more formal partnership and took issue with Carlson declaring on Theophone's podcast that in addition to being a work enhancer, Zin was a male enhancer. So Zin don't like to be associated with right-wing people, but right-wing people love Zins. So they then started their own Zin company, I'm guessing. PMI asked Carlson to refrain from making unsupported health claims about their product. Carlson found the approach humorless. If they had just called me and said, look, we don't want to get sideways with the FDA, please don't make any more boner jokes about Zin, I would have been like, oh, I get it, no problem. Instead, a Zin competitor was spawned. Wow. I wonder if the Carlson's Zins are nice. or his pouches are good. Carlson called his former colleagues, roommate and business partner Neil Patel, and together they created a nicotine pouch called Alp. Alp is, according to Carlson, for someone who's not embarrassed but about using nicotine. I love how it's like Alp is like what, the Swiss Alps, snow, white people. I wonder if that's what it's made for. I wonder if he's got actually any non-white people in his advertisements for Alp. Or is it just like new, or is it just fucking or if it looks like something that you might find in a, you know, in a German lookbook of some sort. Just like the late 2010s gave us the overload of identity specific coffee brands like Coffee for Hikers and Coffee for Gun Guys, tobacco alternatives are now heading for a 4X phase. Wow, I wonder if there's a nicotine pouch for techno people. I wonder if that exists. Nicotine pouches, techno rave. Let's see what happens if I put this in Google. Techno raves. Have you look at this on the EDM subreddit 3 years ago? Have you ever used nicotine pouches? Look at people in the EDM subreddit. I love it. Hello everyone, I'm an anthropologist researching the use of different stimulants in the EDM community. Someone says I've tried them, but nicotine isn't really a drug that I would make me listen to EDM. Someone says, oh god, nicotine pouches at shows sound like death. I'm from California and personally do not use nicotine at shows. Vape pens are extremely common at shows. Okay, so not that much interest in them when it comes to techno, but maybe we might see nicotine pouches. Rave snus buy online. There's Rave snus. Rave snus. Oh, the brand is called Rave. Okay, cool. There's a brand of snus called Rave. That's €3. Oh, maybe I might have to try this. I might have to give it a little go. Do a little review. Rave snus. Go to Unfold and just do tons of Rave snus and see what I go on. Ultra strong 30 mg. Let's go for Rave snus juicy apple. Nicotine strength 30 mg. Wow. Any details about this? Let's see the description. Inspired by music made to party, Rave snus in apple flavor offers 30 mg nicotine and is sold as ultra strong rated. Due to the low filling quantity per pouch and the lower moisture level, a plus point for the connoisseurs and users who want gentle yet powerful nicotine experience in addition to low moisture and level pouches. A can contains 20 nicotine pouches in slim format. Oh, I might have to give this a go. I might have to try some Rave snuses, but yeah, I guess it does exist then. Cool. Blip, a nicotine replacement therapy brand founded by the same team behind Starface, Pimple pouches, and the Julie emergency contraceptive, make nicotine lozenges, lozzies as they call them, and gum. Wow. Jones, a nicotine replacement therapy brand that makes nicotine mints packaged in cheap cans, raised 1.1 million in pre-seed funding. Jesus Christ. Among others, a venture capital firm started by the founders of Warby Parker, Harry's and Allbirds. I bet that we're months away from stylish nicotine pouches that will pique other people's t-shirts. Wow. A rising tide in Zyn users has lifted the boats of many imitations. Next time you're at a gas station or a local corner store, take a look at the shelves of nicotine products. You will likely see alongside Zyn almost identical packaging from brands like Zone, Velo and Rogue. The Rogue is Brendan Schaub's sponsor, isn't it? In November, a new Zyn competitor called Set posted its first photo on Instagram. The retro visuals and copy of the mood improvements made me think it was targeted at sneakerheads who like nootropics and get hard for tightly kerned Helveticas. Okay, let me see that. What's Set? I'm curious to see what Set. Set's another nicotine brand. Set nicotine. Okay. Oh, Set's also what? A character in what? A character in League of Legends. Okay, Set nicotine. Let's see what this looks like. I'm curious to see what this nicotine pouch is. It's called Set. Okay, that's what it looks like. Why is this a sneakerhead thing? Get Set. Let's see what they're talking about here. It said something about Helveticas and shit. I don't think this is the case. But yeah. Oh, big up Apex Putter. 30 mg is strong, B. Okay, cool. Maybe I shouldn't start off with 30 mg, you're saying, right? Apex Putter. I should start off maybe with a smaller amount. Nah, man, I'm a go hard or go home type of guy. if I get into this, I want this shit to go straight to my head. Okay, cool. I see what they mean. A lot of guys featured on here are quite sneakerhead looking like, aren't they? The guy that founded it looks like a sneakerhead as well. Let's go to the first video. I want to see what this is all about. Okay, there we go. Where's the first ever video? I want to see the first ever post from this brand. There we go. Set. Bold and built to fuel your grind. Our raspberry lemon pouches will level you up your day. Coming 2025. Let's see what videos these guys have. Holding space. Let's see. Let's check out one of these videos from this company called Set. It's the guys in the office who use pouches. There's some guys who are sitting around in a cool startup office with their laptops out and nicotine kit cans all over the table. This is so hilarious, man, honestly. This is so okay. Some guys dumping pouches into bins. This is so fucking hilarious. Like, people are making, you know, nicotine pouches their whole identity or a part of their identity. It's fucking hilarious to me. I'm not gonna lie. It's fucking hilarious. Let's see another video from this company.
Favorite days is when we get new prototypes. So we have European-based manufacturers, and this is a flavor we've been working on. It's called Raspberry Lemon. So originally we found this flavor from a brand in Sweden. It's actually a brand that's geared towards females. And immediately when we tried this flavor, we were like,
yes,
oh God,
bitch.
it's so good. It's something that we've never experienced here in the States. So that's one of the flavors that we're going to be launching with, a nice raspberry lemon. We've been focusing on controlling the burn. So some of our last prototypes have had a bit too high of a burn, which is typically a European preference. So let's give this one a go.
What does burn mean? The actual effect?
So I've had the pouch in my mouth for about 30 seconds. Very little burn, just a really subtle burn, which is perfect, exactly what we want to go for. Still really bright flavor, which is really good.
15 minutes later.
So we're about 15 minutes in. Here are my observations. So initial burn is awesome. Pouch is great. I'd like to see the flavor last a little bit longer. And basically what we do is we adjust the type of sweeteners and the amounts of sweeteners to be able to get that lasting effect. Feedback this time around is I think we just need a little bit more of our sweetener and to adjust to make it last just a bit longer. We're getting really freaking close. All right, so one of my...
Okay, cool. Seems pretty cool. Let's return back to the article. I might check out Set. Another person with a Zyn. Oh, look at that. This guy has put a Zyn nicotine pouch in his jean pocket so long, he's now got the Zyn outline around, like faded into his jeans. That's when you know you're really banging the Zyns, isn't it? Jesus Christ, I love that. The idea for zeroing in or locking in or grinding inspired a new nicotine pouch brand called Excel. Yes, like the Microsoft software, a 2024 entry to nicotine market that targets users looking for productivity benefits. The world will catch up on the unspeakable truth that nicotine does not kill people, cigarettes kill people, said John Coogan, the founder of anti-smoke company which counts Excel among its offerings, told me. Wow, an anti-smoking company is endorsing nicotine pouches. This feels like a conflict of interest, isn't it? But so all these companies sell the same product, they just package it in a different way. So someone's gonna make a fucking nicotine thing for ravers. Someone's gonna make a nicotine pouch for skateboarders, footballers, bad bitches, singers, whatever. Just gonna frame it differently, different box, but they all do exactly the same thing. Okay. Keller Hamilton, the epidemiologist, acknowledges that nicotine itself is not carcinogenic, and users who find it in some cognitive benefits, but it remains highly addictive. And exactly, an addiction can have its own cognitive cost, like mood swings. Plus, she told me, we don't know if down the line people will develop such strong dependence on nicotine that they'll need to switch to products like cigarettes that deliver nicotine more quickly. So you get the nicotine hit quicker with cigarettes, but obviously the tobacco fucks you up. But in the pouches, it kind of is a slow into your bloodstream, but then you get it straight as well. And it maybe the high lasts for a long time. PMI, for its part, tells GQ that nicotine is addictive and not risk-free, but it believes Zyn offers a better alternative for consumers who might otherwise be smoking. Excel's brand is a parody of the corporate Wall Street culture. The homepage reads, at Excel, we believe that maximizing productivity will not only enhance individual performance, but also to contribute to the overall success and growth of your clients. Coogan believes that Zyn boom was driven by the Southern Bro, the former smoker, the former dip user, and a pack of a day heavy nicotine user, whereas the anti-smoke company has a pouch brand 3 distinct customers: 1 XL for the finance guy, 2 breakers for the sports guy, and 3 Lucy for the girls. To date, male adoption and usage of Zin's defying characteristics. Why? Coogan has one theory. The fact of the matter is, dudes are gross, and they've been putting gross stuff in their mouths for a long time. They've been drinking leftover beers. Dudes are just dudes. I think men might actually just have less of a disgust reflex. If you look at chewing tobacco, it's like those gross brown poison. Malumu Marzarotto, a 27-year-old, Malu Marzarotto, a 27-year-old brand designer and consultant in New York, told me that when she first started dating her boyfriend, he saw a Zyn container in her apartment and he was fairly confident she was cheating on him. Hilarious. I don't have any other girlfriends that use Zyn, which is surprising since it's so discreet compared to vapes. Increasingly, Zyn speaks to women who might have bummed a Adderall from a friend, but before the shortage made everyone stingy and want a different buzz to grind through the week. I discovered Productivity Reddit, and they were raving about Zyn as a productivity hack. Next thing I knew, I was powering through my to-do list by chain packing Zyns. Rah, Ted. Okay. Let's see, last quote here, last caption, last paragraph. My last question for Coogan, the XL guy, was about his own buzz. During our whole conversation, it sounded like he was on 1.5x speed, caffeine, quote unquote. And after a long pause, I don't know if I put this on record, but I do have a prescription for other study drugs, I guess. So this guy's on a lot of shit. But I believe that you should never take them every day. You should do them when you're needed, and as needed feels like maybe once a month. It's like, okay, first Monday every month, you're going to crush and line up everything and clean up your inbox, clean up your calendar, really set yourself up with the right cadence. And then Tuesday, you're going to drink a Celsius and get through a bunch of work. Wednesday is going to be a bunch of phone calls, so you're going to do some nicotine. Thursday, maybe just have a cup of coffee. Fucking hell. When do you drink a glass of water, guy? Thursday, have a cup of coffee. The weekend comes, you probably don't need any stimulation. You're just hanging out. Emily Sundberg lives in New York. Big up Emily Sundberg. Really good article, really interesting and eye-opening. But God almighty, man, people's dependency on these type of things is crazy. Once you get into this sort of stuff, I think there's no turning back really in it. I think every human, every adult that's tried this shit has, in some ways become addicted to it. So I gotta be careful. I gotta be careful if I start doing these sort of shits. But so far I don't really need much to focus and lock in, to be honest. But yeah, this sounds kind of crazy. Imagine mixing this stuff with like actual multivitamins. How fucking wired you'd be. People are getting crazy buzzes from doing a couple mg, 30 mg. Imagine if you actually mix this with like booze and like, class A's. Whew, that's a fucking wild night. That would be a wild night. But yeah, big up Emily Sundberg, and big up GQ for this article. I'll put the link in the description for you guys if you want to check it out later. I'll put the link in the description if you want to check it out later. Cool. Quickly talk about Kendrick Lamar sweeping the Grammys. Big up Kendrick. He won a Grammy for every category he was nominated in, essentially. So he won 5. So congrats to him. He looked pretty good there, to be honest. He's definitely cut up a lot. I feel like he's been working out a bunch, or maybe eating well, because his skin looks incredibly clear and very, very tight, like he's got that fucking, his cheekbones are popping. He's looking very good nowadays. Not to say he wasn't looking bad before, but he definitely has looked a bit more trim and everything else in between. I like the outfit as well. The denim suit was jokes. People are attributing this to him wearing a Canadian tuxedo, which is another little sneak diss towards Drake. It could be, or it just could be a good look. Regardless, I like it. I also like the fact that it's not just a matchy thing. Like the jeans are a bit darker than the jean jacket, so it's not both. Because some people, like myself, I tend to like the same tone when it comes to jean suits on the top and the bottom. But I do like the fact that he did what he did there, and he's got this really cool Jesus piece and a denim New Era hat perched to the side as well, holding all of the Grammys that he's won. So it's a really hard picture. The kind of picture that you would want to have hanging up in your wall somewhere in your mansion, not like fucking Brendan Schaub and those horrible posters of him, of his fucking comedy special and shit. This is actual good picture you'd have hanging. I don't know. I'm not really a big believer of having pictures of yourself in your own house, but if you're Kendrick, you definitely should frame this picture and put it up somewhere in your home, because it's fucking sick. I really do like it, but I have to say that I'm really hoping that this is the last time we hear fucking Not Like Us. It's not likely because the Super Bowl's coming up, but I hope that's the end of this song. I'm so bored and tired of that song. I know it's a bop, I get it, but people have banged it over my head. You've heard it everywhere. It's getting fucking exhausting. I'm just tired of it. And that's the real annoying things about making great music. If you make great music, like I remember the first time, this is gonna be weird, but I remember the first time I heard Happy by Pharrell. I'm not really that tapped into Pharrell anymore, but when I was really tapped into Pharrell and NERD, I used to always check out, there's a blog, I forgot the blog. There's a blog that it's like a Stan blog that used to upload everything concerning NERD, anything concerning Pharrell. So if he made like if he was featured on some obscure artist album that you probably would have heard of, they're gonna put it up on there. So I remember that particular blog posted the tune Happy before Happy even came out, like way ahead of it, right before it was even popular. I remember listening to it for the first time thinking, oh my god, this might be one of the best songs I've heard in my entire life. Like just, you know, the vibe, the construction of it, like the chorus, like just melodies, like just wow. Like Pharrell fucking killed it with this song. Then of course it gets used in that fucking animation that it was in, and it becomes, you know, a big global hit. And I just got, even the first note would just send a shiver down my spine. I was like, enough of this song. So I loved it, and then when it got rinsed, I kind of stopped liking it. Same with Not Like Us. Not Like Us is a fucking bop. Maybe one of the best mustard beats ever, right? It's impossible not to fucking it's impossible not to fucking bop when you want to hear it, but I'm getting so bored and so tired of it. I hope after he did a clean sweep, winning Song of the Year, Record of the Year, Best Rap Song of the Year, Best Rap Performance, Best Music Video, that we now have a stop and we end it. I'm really hoping so. It becomes the end of the fucking hype and the sucking off of that fucking song, because I'm tired of it. I'm freaking tired. But I have to mention, I think he was lucky to win Best Music Video, because that A$AP Rocky's video, I know the song was pretty terrible or forgettable, sorry, but that video that A$AP Rocky was nominated for was really sick. Maybe one of the best music videos of last year. So Rocky not getting that video for all the work that went into making that video was a bit, you know, bad mind. I wonder if it's got anything to do with his gun charge at the moment, or his gun, you know, court case, sorry, shooting court case. I wonder if that is tied into the reason why he didn't win the award, or because the song is just a bit forgetful. Because that'd be a bit weird, isn't it, to give the best music video to a song that isn't really popular, because whatever that song is isn't really popular, but the music video is really fucking good. So it would have been a bit weird for, you know, the Grammy Academy to be like, you know what, let's give this guy best music video just because the video treatment's amazing, but the song's actually pretty shit. Let me actually see, what is the song? The song is, let's see if I can get it up on here. There you go. Let's go to his channel. Oh, the song is Taylor Swift. That's a song. It's got like 41 million views. It's a really good music video. Incredible, I think, to be honest. Whoever directed it fucking killed it. Let me actually see. Let me click the video, see who directed it. Does it see it in the credits? Who directed this video? Directed by Vania Hyman and Gal Mugia. Big up Vania Hyman and Gal Mugia, and also big up Iconoclast for who's a producer. Really fucking cool music video. I'm sure most of you have seen it. Very kind of left field and kind of quirky, but a really cool music video nonetheless. But yeah, congratulations to Kendrick. Hopefully this is the end of Not Like Us. I'm doubting it because it's such a great song and everyone kind of loves Kendrick anyway, but I hope this is the end of it, because I'm fucking bored and tired of Not Like Us. Please, 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 enough. Moving on. Let's talk a little bit about Bianca Censori and Kanye West at the Grammys. Did you guys see that appearance? Did you guys see that entry? Did you guys see how they arrived? Absolutely crazy. So if you're not familiar, Ye arrived at the Grammys. I don't think we did an invite. I think they're saying online, but he essentially didn't even go to the Grammy ceremony. He just pulled up in his super sick Silver Surfer Mercedes Benz. I'm probably gonna get that wrap. I just love the idea. I'm gonna fucking copy that wrap, and then when I get my first car, which will probably be a fucking probably a Mark 1 Ford Focus, I'm gonna buy a Mark 1 Ford Focus for like a 500 quid and get it wrapped in fucking all silver. This reflective silver mirror thing that kind of make you look at Silver Surfer. It's fucking cool. So he pulls up in his Mercedes, hops out the whip with Bianca Censori. She's wearing a massive fur coat. Ye's wearing what you see on the screen here. And then they walk up to the runway, and when they get to the runway, Bianca Censori has her back to the cameras, and Kanye just stands there, and then at one cue, she just drops her fur coat, and she's not wearing anything underneath. She's wearing like this sheer mini dress. Allegedly, Ye saying it's couture. It's made by some, I guess maybe it's made by Team Yeezy. It's couture Yeezy, but it's just made out of a very see-through, type of fabric. But it's obviously cut in the style of a dress. But she's not wearing anything underneath. No panties, no bra, no nothing. So you see her tatters hanging. You see the JJ hanging just out there. She's also got transparent heels on. So she went the whole way through. Transparent heels, so you can see all the way through. Nothing down there and nothing above. Completely, and very simple makeup, hair slicked back. Personally, I think it's an amazing look. I think they both look fucking sick. I think Ye especially looks incredibly good. You can tell that fucking, Japanese diet, living over there in Japan for a while, in Tokyo, eating whatever they eat over there. Because I think, if I'm not mistaken, Japan might be a blue zone. That's a place where, it has the most people above, I think, 80 years old who are still living and shit. And that's usually, I remember reading about it. I think there's a book called The Blue Zones where they attribute it to people in Japan or people in that sort of area around the world living to their old age and healthy, because most of them slept on the floor. I remember that was a real hack. So a lot of them sleep on the floor on very thin mattresses. So the act of like getting up and standing up every single day helped to keep them healthy. And of course, the food, the fish, the meat, the vegetables, all that sort of stuff, and obviously other probiotics that they take naturally with their food kind of help them look a certain way. So I'm not surprised that Ye is cutting up completely. Like, his face looks much slimmer. He looks really good in clothes and shit, and he's just styling it. I'm not sure if those boots are I'm not sure if those are the Yeezys that are coming out, the bullies. I think they might be the bullies. I'm not too sure. They look a little bit like the bullies, but he looks really good there. So I personally loved it, the appearance, especially because it was the fucking Grammys, and the Grammys are usually fucking boring. So if you're going to do a red carpet look, at least go for something that's going to cause some controversy, that's going to get people talking. And I think they did a really fucking good job of having people talking with this fucking outfit. People are now saying that Ye is doing something bad and he's fucking, he's out here making her look crazy, but she's a bit of an exhibitionist herself. If you know a little bit of her history and what she used to wear back in the day, you would know that she used to wear, the similar sort of thing. Maybe not as scantily clad, but she was definitely into, pushing the envelope, pushing the line in terms of personal style, in terms of fashion, in terms of what's deemed to be appropriate and inappropriate to wear. Like, just amazing. And I think what they've proved really is if you're rich enough, you can get away with wearing anything, which we all know, innit, right? But if you're rich enough, if your bank balance is at a certain level, you can basically do what the fuck you want. And this is proof of it. They go around basically wearing, Kanye goes around the world with his wife barely wearing anything, and it doesn't feel like they get turned away anywhere. I don't think I've heard of a story of them getting turned away anywhere. So this whole idea about, attire based on where you're gonna go is fucking ridiculous, especially in places like London. One time randomly, I forgot when it was, there was a time randomly where I was cycling, and I think I wanted to stop at like Shoreditch to have like a drink somewhere in a bar. And like an idiot, I didn't know Shoreditch had changed. So I haven't been out in Shoreditch in months, in many years. So when I went there, I quickly went to go have a drink when I was mid-cycle, and I was obviously wearing some shorts because I'm cycling, and I couldn't get in because of my shorts. And the guy also said, "Oh no, you wouldn't be able to, even if you had trousers, you couldn't get in because we don't allow sportswear." I'm like, what? A bar in Shoreditch not allowing sportswear? I swear all the guys that go here wear like essentials, tech fleeces, like like fear of God shit. Like, what the fuck? Like, people wear trendy sweatpants all the time. Like, what is this whole non-streetwear? Like, I don't understand how that's going to attribute to behavior inside the club. It's strange. Like, because I put on a blazer, I'm going to be well behaved. I've always thought that was always strange. Like, I've always been the kind of person that would be like, oh, it'd be really interesting for one day just to be like, okay, I'm going to wear a suit every day for no apparent reason because I like to wear a suit. I don't believe in this whole, like, dressing based on the occasion or the venue. If you want to wear a suit and go to a rave, I think that's incredibly chic. Pulling up to a fucking rave in a proper three-piece suit, Savile Row tailored. Oof, that's a fucking hard body look. I'd love, or go into the football in the suit and the pea coat, like the whole fucking shebang, like very, very extra and over the top. I think it's pretty decent. So I'm all for this, man. I'm all for this. I fucking love it. I love the controversy it caused. I'm sure these pictures are all over the fucking social media and broadsheets, but it also reminded me of one of my other favorite outfits of them as a couple. This one when they were out in Berlin. This is probably one of the most Berlin outfits I've ever seen. This was such a cool outfit when they were out there in Berlin. I think for like Berlin Fashion Week, I think they were out there for, because I think there's a brand in Berlin that Kanye's associated with. I forgot the name of it. I think the girl's actually British or something, but she designs similar aesthetics to what you'd think of like old Demna Vetements. I forgot her fucking name, but I remember they were out there, and this outfit was one of my favorites. Ye with a t-shirt covering his face like a mask, this oversized jumper thing that looks like it's made out of, I don't know what it's made out of. He's tucked it into his trousers. He's also wearing the socks, the Yeezy pods, the sock things, and she looks incredible too with her heels and the transparent, or the, you know, the pantyhose situation that pulls right up until the fucking tits, and obviously the bag across the bag as well, and the slicked hair too. This is one of my fucking favorite outfits that they had as a couple. I'm not gonna lie, I fucking loved how they looked there. And there's also another picture of her with her back turned on the red carpet looking at the fucking camera people. But yeah, a very racy outfit, very racy, very fucking wild, but I love it. I love it. I fucking love it. I'm not gonna lie, one of my favorite fucking looks I've seen on the red carpet in a long freaking time. So big up Ye and big up Bianca Censori. Big up Ye and big up Bianca Censori. We love to see it. We love to freaking see it. Moving on. Let's talk a little bit about this as well to end, regarding Elliott Wilson and Kai Cenat. If you guys know, Elliott Wilson had some very choice words to say to Kai Cenat, or about Kai Cenat and his group of people who are now becoming very important in hip hop and in music. I think this is actually a good indication of like Kai Cenat's and live streamers in general's increasing importance in the music industry. Music industry is now embracing these guys by inviting them to the Grammys, by sending some of their artists to do like in the box producing things with Black Boy Max. I saw recently Black Boy Max announced that Wiz Khalifa's could do one with him recently. He did one with Baby Tron. He's probably going to do one with probably more mainstream people soon, you reckon, once it starts getting super popular. But you see the music industry shifting now and starting to embrace streamers. And obviously they're using streamers to, like, you know, make their artists seem a little bit more human, and to obviously inevitably help the artist sell more music. Now, someone like Elliott Wilson, who had a magazine and works in journalism and is a bit older, he's getting a bit annoyed about it, and said something very jealous and hateful about about Kai Cenat and other streamers as well, and basically called them out for not being journalists, and sounded very hater filled and jealous and bitter. Personally, I don't have a problem with it in a way, because I kind of do like when people say how they actually feel, even if it is hating, because everyone tries to pretend like they're always happy for everybody, which is not the case. Sometimes you might see someone do something that you want to do and you think you're better than them, and you think fuck them, which you're allowed to think. But I sometimes think you have to be careful with how you say it, because it can sound like sometimes that you're just jealous and you don't want to do the work. You just want what they have. You know, it's one thing being motivated. It's one thing thinking someone shouldn't have something and you should have it, and then working to get it. And it's one thing just like throwing your hands up in the air and saying, oh my God, it's not fair, it's not fair, it's not fair. Anyway, all that to say, Kai Cenat finally saw Elliott Wilson in person, and Kai Cenat, who's 24, and Elliott Wilson, who's 54, he basically sunned him. He G-checked him and said, hey, come here, let me talk to you, because you said some wild shit. And it's very embarrassing for Elliott Wilson. This is one of the most embarrassing clips I've ever seen. Elliott Wilson getting getting kind of like spoken to in a very mature and adult manner by a literal child. Kai Cenat could be a literal kid, and Kai Cenat comes across very well in this interaction, but it's also very embarrassing for Elliott Wilson.
Shout out Drake, huh?
That portrait?
Yeah. Oh, Complex! I've been waiting. Hey, Complex! I've been waiting to talk to y'all, Complex. I know. Complex. We're here. I've been waiting to talk to y'all. Complex. Oh wait, no, you come, yeah. Oh, no. You come right here. No. Hold on. Wait, you diss my live stream. Hold on.
I love you.
Hold on, no, you diss my live stream. No, you diss. Hold on, wait.
It's your live stream.
You diss.
Which one?
You diss my live stream. You hated on Nikki.
I hate on Nikki.
You hated on Nikki.
I apologize to you and your family. More important, your family.
You gotta stop doing that.
I will stop doing
But I appreciate you for the apology, bro.
You're killing it.
But we can't bring each other down, bro.
Absolutely not.
All right? From the older to the younger, it's very important that older people guide us and help us out. We're just the young people trying to do our thing.
Yes.
And the more y'all just help us out and we become one, the better we'll be. All together as a unit,
right.
Literally.
I'm older, but she taught me a lesson.
Thank you so much, bro. Give me a hug, bro. It's all good, all right? It's all good.
Keep killing it, bro.
Real. It's all
Keep
good.
killing it.
Yes, thank you.
Get a real fucking moment.
That was real. That was real. After that beautiful moment. Now, Complex.
Even do red carpet.
Yeah, give me 1 second. Now,
Jesus Christ, man. How embarrassing for Elliott Wilson kudos to fucking Kai Cenat. Like I said on social, I think, you know, Kai Cenat's parents need to take a lot of credit, especially his mum. She raised him right, man. This kid's like a, you know, he's a literal child, but he comes across very well on social media, comes across very well on the internet, comes across very well on streams. And the way he dealt with the situation was really good, because I think if I was in his position, I would have probably crashed out Elliott Wilson. I probably wouldn't have I wouldn't have been so kind. I wouldn't have been so mature. I probably wouldn't have been so level-headed. And he approached it really cool, really maturely, and essentially made Elliott Wilson look like a fucking fool. And dealt with it in a very good manner. And in the process, also fought for Nicki Minaj. He also managed to fucking stand up for the fucking Barbs, which is gonna make him a legend there already. They already love him anyway after the fucking live stream he did with Nicki. But now he's gonna be well regarded forever and ever with the Barbs for standing up for Nicki, you know, when she wasn't even there, which is fucking sick to see. But yeah, the Elliott Wilson hate, man, was just so weird. Like, I kind of get it, don't get me wrong. He is a hip-hop journalist, so for him to see all these acts going on Kai Cenat's stream and sitting down with him and not going to him is annoying. But I also didn't understand why, because the artists that would go on Kai Cenat's streams aren't necessarily the artists or hip-hop artists I'd think Elliott Wilson wanted to interview anyway. So I never understood why he was so upset. Like, these aren't even your guys. Why do you even care? And also, you've had your time in the sun. You enjoyed it. You had a real blast. Like, let the kids come in and do their thing also. But he didn't, so here we are. He didn't, so here we are. So big up Kai Cenat. Absolutely bossed him and made him look like an idiot without raising his voice or getting violent, and just completely sunning him. Big up blood clot Kai Cenat. You'd love to see it. Anyways, my friends, that's been it. That is the Agostinho Zinga Show, episode number 869. Thank you for tuning in. It's been a pleasure to have your company. If it's your first time tuning into the show, you know what to do. Smash the like button, hit subscribe down below. That'd be greatly appreciated. If you listen to the show via the podcast app, you also know what to do. Leave me a 5-star review, please. Those of you who are watching the show live, random show is starting in about 5 minutes. So I'm going to hop over there and get that done. Those of you listening to the flipping audio podcast, you're going to be hearing my tune today, Underneath My Voice, by a artist called Ibibio Sound Machine. I should have put this as one of my albums of the year last year, but I completely forgot about it, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie. One of my favorite albums I listened to last year. I don't know how to describe it. What do you call it? House? Maybe house music, I'm assuming. Kind of housey, kind of new disco type of vibe, but you'd like it anyway. The tune I'm playing Under My Voice is called Got to Be Who You Are. It's an amazing song. Please check it out. It's by Ibibio Sound Machine, Ibibio Sound Machine. Got to Be Who You Are. An amazing fucking song. Hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you guys again very, very soon. But for now, take care